Oh, I love that song. There's Cole Swindell, Jody Messina. She had me at Heads Carolina. You're listening to Jim, Deb, and Kevin.
Yeah, if you go back to the CMA Awards show, you can see you and your sister dancing to that song on television.
We stormed the stage, but everybody else.
Oh, we know. We're still embarrassed about the whole thing.
You stayed in your seat, but we were having fun.
They asked us to do that. It says 6:12 with Jim, Deb, and Kevin. Jimmy's off the rest of this week, getting ready for the big wedding. Today is National Cat Day.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
And Deb, you had a cat before,
I did.
pre-Greg.
Shaylee.
PG.
Yep, it was pre-Greg, and she hated Greg when she first met him.
She was not a fan. Now, I'm allergic to cats. It's not that I don't like them. I just, when I get around them, I get kind of sneezy and stuff. But I worked for a radio station years ago that had a station cat.
Oh, really?
And it lived there because it was our studio was in the middle of a field, and it was full of mice. But so it kept its. Well, we fed it. It just lived there.
But you were allergic, and you had to go see it every day, be around it.
It stayed away from me, but it was not uncommon for it to kind of jump around the studio and be around.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And one time we had some mice in our house, and my wife called and said, "Do you think you can bring the cat?" His name Peggy. The cat was named Peggy. Could you bring Peggy home? So I called the boss, and he said, "Sure, bring her home." So and this cat just
took care
of the mice in our home.
I love the name Peggy for a cat.
Yeah, Peggy the cat. Anyway, National Cat Day. What was the name of your cat again?
Shaylee.
Shaylee. Well, feel free to post some pictures on our Facebook pages if you'd like, promoting the fact that it's National Cat Day.
Yeah.
We can't because we don't have cats.
No, my niece has a cat and loves it.
Frank the cat.
Frank the cat.
I like the name. 613.
The guy with the very dry sense of humor, but hilarious. That's Brad Paisley, Mud on the Tires with Jim, Deb, and Kevin at 95.5 WFMS.
625, time for Nash News now. Jake Owen posted a long message on Instagram yesterday. It was all about how he quit drinking.
Oh, good for him.
And he said that it's his 689th day without alcohol and that, quote, life is much better without it. And he encouraged other people to consider stop drinking as well.
I'm very proud.
Good for him.
That's awesome.
All right, Carly Pearce surprised fans yesterday with 3 big announcements. This Friday, she's releasing a new song called Country Music Made Me Do It. And then this fall, she's out headlining a tour with the same name. And she's finally, which I was surprised at this, she finally has a fan club.
She didn't have one before?
No, she said Carly launched her official fan club where members can access to pre-sale tickets, merchandise discounts, and exclusive content. You can get all the information by following her on social media, but I would have thought she already had a fan club.
I would have thought so, too, although she's really exploded the last couple of years. So
she certainly has.
Definitely time.
She may have exploded, but she's still got family up in Marion, up in Gas City, Indiana.
Who almost got kicked out at Ruoff Music Center.
Our kind of people.
According to Carly.
That's your Nash News now at 6:26. 6:39 with Jim, Deb, and Kevin on a Tuesday. A Tuesday that Deb returns to Central Indiana after a nice vacation in Florida.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a big family celebration for my 3-year-old
big birthday
niece. Yes,
right.
It was her birthday. And so my younger sister, they celebrate 3-year-old birthdays. I feel like that's the age where you kind of can get a lot out of Walt Disney World.
Sure.
So we all celebrated, 18 of us.
Woo.
So we all went down there, had a great time. It was hotter than you can imagine. And then, of course, you have to fly there and fly back.
And you don't fly well. We established this earlier. That
normally don't fly at all.
We were waiting for you to, call Jim to have him talk you off a ledge of some kind.
Oh, he was sending messages like the weather is clear. It looks good for takeoff. It's going to be a smooth flight. And I finally had to say, stop. You're reminding me that I'm flying. I don't like to even think about it when I'm sitting there at the gate. So then I did get there okay. There's some turbulence. Coming back was when I lesson learned. I should listen a little more intent. Maybe
pay attention.
Well, I should be consistent with my listening when they're making announcements on the overhead because the captain came on at the very beginning of the flight. We're getting ready to leave Orlando. Come back to Indy.
So you're in the plane.
Yeah, I'm in the plane. I'm buckled up. It's an evening flight, by the way. Mm-hmm. I'm exhausted from the park. We'd been at the park that day, and the captain comes on and he mentions that the previous flight that the Wi-Fi had been kind of spotty. And so I heard him say that part. Then Hayden asked me a question. I answered Hayden. And then I hear him say, so for this flight, if it goes down, at least you'll know why.
Oh, no.
That's what I heard. So for this flight, if it goes down, at least you know why. And I went, what? And, of course, said it out loud because I freaked. And that's when Greg was like, he's talking about the Wi-Fi.
In your defense, those were probably poor choice of words for him to make.
For this flight, if it goes down, at least you know why.
If you can't connect...
That would have been better.
If you're having difficulty with it. I mean,
there's
other
down,
things to
not
say.
Not what I want to hear.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
Right. So he was referring to the Wi-Fi. I needed a huge reminder because, I I get worked up, especially during takeoff. I have to hold hands and do all of that.
And you did all that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
7:23 with Jim, Deb, and Kevin. It is a Tuesday, and we already are thinking about the weekend because it is, it's race weekend.
Yes, it is.
The Brickyard weekend. All the fun starts this coming Friday with practice. We have IndyCar racing, open wheel racing on Saturday, and then we have the NASCAR racing on Sunday. So IndyCar at 12:30 on Saturday. NASCAR at 2:30 on Sunday.
I've been working on my race car. You ready?
Oh, bro, here we go.
I thought it was pretty good.
So evidently they're doing battery-operated cars out of the track this year. Those little remote control tracks.
Okay, fine. I'll
Those
go.
are remote control cars. What does it sound like again?
Hang on. I got to get in the right mindset. You ready?
Yeah, well, I hope so. Okay.
I need some quiet.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, okay. That's
okay, I'll regroup.
We'll work on that.
I'll work on it.
You've got till Friday.
Thank you.
But you'll start seeing those haulers coming in town here real soon. And, of course, we welcome all race fans with all the stuff starting on Friday with practice. 7:24 now with Jim, Deb, and Kevin. 7:39 with Jim, Deb, and Kevin. That's Luke Combs. It is a Tuesday. Jim is off getting ready for the big wedding. Wedding of the century. But Deb is back from her vacation. Welcome back, Deb.
Century.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we had a good time. It was 18 of us. Can you imagine going on a trip anywhere but to Walt Disney World with 18 people?
And did you try to stay together as a group?
We really did. Now, there were times where we'd have to break off some. You can't.
Yeah.
Here's what we noticed. We were there for my niece who turned 3 years old. And so we celebrated with this big, giant birthday. So my sister, of course, invited her in-laws because that's their granddaughter.
Sure.
And we know them. We've shared birthdays together. But we get there and you can't program your bladders to be all on the same cycle.
Yes.
So, you might do one attraction.
Potty break for everybody now.
Come off the ride, and then somebody has to go to the restroom, and then like 20 minutes later, somebody else has to go to the restroom. So there would be a lot of waiting, but we had a group thread, and we would just constantly let everybody know where we were going to be.
That's helpful.
We first got into the park at Magic Kingdom. It's so hot. This is our first day there. It feels like it's over 100 degrees. You're constantly trying to drink a lot of water, and you're cranky immediately, okay,
Right.
because you're trying to be in the magical place. But everybody's excited to be there. My mom was in a scooter just for mobility reasons, and another lady in a scooter was passing us. And at one point,
well, it's a drag race.
Well, I mean, you try and maneuver that because you don't want to run over anybody's feet. There were a couple close calls. And at one point, we're trying to get through that main street, the stretch there on Main Street with my mom's scooter. So I said, okay, Mom, here, try and turn through here. I'm trying to find an open spot for her to not run people over, especially young kids. And this other lady, apparently, who I didn't see, comes out of nowhere, and she stops right in front of me, and she says, "You're welcome." Because apparently she was saying she was letting us through, but she was very hateful about it. And so
she needed some of the pixie dust.
Apparently so. So I said, trying to be calm.
No.
I said, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. We were just trying to get her through. She waved me off and kept rolling on. And I yelled toward her,
Deborah,
have a magical day.
Oh, no.
She yelled back over her shoulder, bull crap.
Oh,
and
no.
she just kept going. So I thought, well, you know what? I guess it's not for everybody. Maybe
it was her 10th day there. She was tired.
Well, maybe so, but I was trying
10th hour or whatever.
I was trying to be kind. And so for the most part, other than that one encounter, everybody was, we didn't have any problems. We didn't argue. I did say to Hayden, I gave him my credit card once. He's a little more forgetful than me. I know this is a problem. And so I gave him my card and I said, go get what you want, but do not lose this because, people will be charging it up left and right. So bring it back to me. That was he had one job, bring my card back to me. And he shows back up 20 minutes later and he says, Mom, I don't know where it is. And of course, they think he's kidding. And sure enough, my sister's mother-in-law found it on the ground nearby a trash can, like 5 minutes from where we'd been standing.
Well, the apple doesn't fall from the tree.
I got it back, but a little stressful for me for about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're back, and we're glad you were sprinkled with pixie dust. And things turned out okay in that situation.
We'll share some photos here in just a bit.
One of the best nicknames in country music, Jelly Roll, and I Need a Favor. 8:10 with Jim, Deb, and Kevin.
So I've been tasked with making a wedding cake, and here's the cool part. I love to bake.
Yeah.
Here's the not so cool part. I've never made a wedding cake in my life.
And the other thing is it's your coworker's sons. You're making Corbin his wedding cake.
And I've babysat for Corbin.
I know.
So I'm excited to do it. I'm honored. I told
But let
Corbin,
me back up a minute. Did you just say you've never made one?
Never in my life. I feel like I'm creative and a baker. I make gourmet cupcakes and gourmet.
Well, just treat it like a giant
sugar
cupcake.
Cookies. But no, you can't treat it like. There's a lot more to a wedding cake than that. So
how many layers?
Well, it's 2 tiers, but each layer has 3 to 4 layers of cake.
34?
No, I said 3 to 4 layers of cake. So Corbin sent me a picture of what he wanted it to be. Luckily, it's I would call a simplistic style of a wedding cake.
Okay.
The style on the bottom has like little, almost I would consider like ruffles or a ribbed look to it, and then the tier on the top has these little edible pearls, which I already have. But when you think about 2 tiers in a cake, especially you have several layers like
how
that,
are you gonna transport
a cake can fall.
I know. How are you going to transport
You have to have dowels and all of that stuff. So I've got all that stuff. You transport it by you put the first tier together, and then you put the second tier together at home, and then you transport each tier separately.
You want to put it in the back of my pickup?
No. That's going to be a big fat no. But it's not a process where you can just throw a cake together in a few hours. So there's something I have to do tomorrow, something I have to do Thursday, and then Friday is wedding day to assemble it all together with like fresh buttercream.
Will you be documenting this so we can see it?
Yeah, I will.
That'd be fun.
I think I will try and video a lot of it. I'm just hoping it turns out fine. But you know what? I'm also very confident. Like, I'm up for the challenge. You know me, I don't like to.
What flavor?
She wanted chocolate and like the wedding cake flavor, chocolate and vanilla, and she wanted a marbled cake, which, by the way, never done that either. I told Corbin, he was like, "Can you do this? Can you do this?" I'm like, "Corbin, I've never done any of it, but you know what? I don't turn down a challenge, so let's work on this."
I think you'll do fine.
I have been watching TikTok videos for a month straight to the point where I'm dreaming about cakes. I now am convinced that I can do it in my sleep because I've looked at every single baker who's a professional on how they do it, how they assemble it, how they wrap it up, they refrigerate just the cake layers the day before, and so I'm when to pull it out so it's not chilled. I got it.
Because it looking good is one thing, tasting good is another. And
I don't
know
worry
how
about taste.
Okay, you're confident with that.
Oh yeah, we're good on the taste.
Well, we'll be looking forward to some social media posts throughout the week.
Let's just say this: if it doesn't go well, don't show anybody. 95.5 WFMS. Love that song, Where I Come From. With Jim, Deb, and Kevin, it's time for Deb's Daily Dirt. I found out what Beyonce did for her fans, and I thought, that's pretty cool. We'll share the story here in about 30 seconds. First, babynames.com says that searches for Barbie blew up by 300% last month.
Barbie names? Name somebody Barbie?
To name their child Barbie.
Oh, no.
Searches for Ken increased by 200% in July. So we'll have to wait and see how many people actually end up naming their kids Barbie and Ken.
I bet there's a bunch.
That thing was outlandishly crazy. This is sad news. I didn't even know they were dating, but Sandra Bullock had a longtime partner named Brian Randall. And they've dated for 3 years. And I shouldn't just say dated. He has helped raise her kids. He passed away at the age of 57 after a 3-year battle with ALS.
Oh, no.
She says she chose to keep the relationship private. He chose to keep his battle private. But she said he was the love of her life.
Wow.
And how they met was she made him sign an NDA when he went to photograph her first child. And
really?
And then they became friends after that. Isn't that interesting?
That's a terrible disease. That's just
certainly is.
Oh, that's horrible.
Beyonce's show at FedEx Field in D.C. on Sunday night was delayed due to a massive lightning storm, but she knows people pay a lot of money for her shows. It ran late as a result. So she paid $100,000 to keep the metro trains running an hour past closing just so fans had a way to get home.
Good for her.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Very good.
Say that, share the good stuff too.
Absolutely.
8:27, and that's Deb's Daily Dirt.
8:39 with Jim, Deb, and Kevin on a Tuesday. Jimmy's off today getting ready for, as he called it earlier, the wedding of the century. The wedding is this weekend. Deb is back from her vacation. We're glad that she is back. Back just in time to buy herself a Mega Millions jackpot ticket.
Okay.
The jackpot for tonight's drawing is $1.5 billion. That's with a B. It costs $2 to buy the ticket.
I'll buy it on my way home.
And that would be the biggest U.S. lottery in history.
Wow.
Now, what's the population of the United States?
United States population 335 million.
Okay.
186,450.
335 million.
Yeah.
So your chances of winning is 1 in 302 million. So almost 1 in 1 person in the United States.
Yes, but as my grandma Evie
winning.
would say, somebody has to.
Somebody
has to win.
And there's a 100% chance you're not going to win if you don't buy a ticket.
But what are you out? You're out $2.
But I'm
deal.
out $2.
I know. Yeah, I'm frugal too.
See, I'm guaranteed to have to spend $2, which I don't like that part.
Yeah, but look,
I'm not guaranteed I'm going to win anything in back.
That last person that won probably had no idea that, their life was going to change forever. It's worth that $2.
You hear about the guy that announced he's 65 years old. He turned in his 2-week retirement notification.
And didn't tell anybody.
And then he won the lottery like 2 days later, won $1 million.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anybody, worked the remainder of his 2-week notice, and then told people, oh, by the way, I just won $1 million.
Yeah, they were asking him, how are you going to spend your time? He's like, well, I think I'm going to be traveling.
I can guarantee you that if I were to have won them, you would know. I would tell everybody.
Well,
I know you're supposed to keep it quiet, keep it a secret, but I don't think I can do that.
Well, not with us. We'd have to at least share it. And I would, and actually not just share that I won, but I would share the money.
Really?
You wouldn't?
I would.
It's that much?
I'd buy you a Starbucks.
Oh, wow. Whoa, a $6
you know what?
coffee.
I feel
big
generous.
Of you.
I'll buy you 2 Starbucks.
No, you better be buying me a franchise.